Hey everybody, we are going to cover something today that honestly I never thought I was going to mention in one of my videos, ever. But it's one of the things that was one of the funniest things we did in the community. Now invariably when we're talking to a girl, one of the first things she reaches in her bag of tricks to pull out, just to see if the guy is truly high quality or a total charlatan, is what we call a test. And what I mean by that is a girl meets a guy and he seems to have his stuff together, is a good looking guy, seems pretty confident, but most women who are high quality have met a whole bunch of them, and most of them are total charlatans. They're not real. They're just putting on an air. They're putting on an act. And the girl throws out a test, and one of the things it does is it quickly will tell her if this guy is real or not. And some of them are really simple. It could be, I have a boyfriend. It could be, get out of here. It could be any number of things. They're usually very blunt, very to the point. And right after that, the girl's just immediately paying attention to see what the guy does. Now, 90% of the time when the girl says, I have a boyfriend, or get out, the guy craters. He just craters. You can see his self-confidence just evaporate away. And she just leaves and she realizes, man, I just saved myself a ton of time. I could probably spend a lot more time with my girlfriends. Now, the high quality men, when they encounter a test, is they do what we're going to talk about today. And what we're going to talk about today is something I never thought I would cover in there because I grew up in a cold weather place. We're going to talk about plowing. We're not going to talk about snow plowing because I hate snow plowing. It was terrible. Now, in the community, plowing means when a girl gives you a test that you don't even pay attention to it. You literally, it's almost like you didn't even hear her. Like you have this selective deafness. And I'm sure she said something, but I don't know what it was, and I don't really care. So I'm just going to continue to roll. So the girls say, I have a boyfriend, and immediately the guy loses heart and thinks, oh, well, there's no way I'm ever going to get her number, or get the out. And this guy all of a sudden craters again because he just hates confrontation. And the last thing he wants to be seen is getting embarrassed by some really hot girl in front of 100 other hot girls. But that's not what happened in the community. A lot of times we're talking to a girl and we're not even overtly hitting on her. We're just talking to her. But she knows it's on. She knows that obviously we're interested to some degree, and she's just trying to smoke out who the charlatans are. And we're just not even listening. We just move on. I have a boyfriend. Oh, that's great. And we just continue to move on, and we continue to do the same things we did before, the push-pull. We flirt with her, and then we allude to what a great friend she's going to be, and then we flirt with her, and then we tell her what a great friend she's going to be. And she realizes that this guy is not falling for it. And the thing is, when she sees you do that, she realizes she's dealing with someone that most women love to deal with, and that is an alpha, somebody who's confident, has their stuff together, is not looking for validation to live their life, who has a great life, has what they want, and really is somebody who always gets the good outcomes that they want in life. Now, the only difference is when a guy walks up to a girl and the girl gives him a test, that's what really smokes them out and really indicates whether this is somebody they want to spend more time with or somebody who's just completely out of themselves. In sales, it's the same thing, but instead of a test, it's an objection. You see, when people give you objections, they're not designed for you to overcome them. That's not the point. They're not sitting here going, I'm going to tell this guy that it's too expensive, and I really, really hope he overcomes my objection, because I know that happens to you all the time. You give people objections, and you can't wait for them to overcome them. Not at all. It's because, one, you don't want the product, but realistically, you don't trust the person you're talking to because you think they have an ulterior motive that doesn't match what they're telling you. But yet, when you plow through it, when you just completely ignore it, and you're just not even respecting the fact that they give you this objection, that they realize that you're different than every other person they've spoken to. And at the very base minimum, you intrigue them. You have their ear, and they're going to start reacting to you differently. They're not going through the same automated, rote machinations that they do with every other salesperson, but they're going to start to kick the tires a little bit, but in a positive way. Not that they're looking to see that you're like everybody else, but they want to see, are you really different? Now they're expecting to see you different, and that's where you get to shine. You get treated completely different than every other salesperson they've ever met, and you don't really have to do much. You just have to be yourself. And it all starts with one of the greatest things to do when somebody gives you an objection, and the most horrible thing to do if you live in a cold weather state, and that's to plow.